I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirits of all three will strive within me. I will not shut out the lessons that they teach. Those famous words come from Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, the great moral lesson that is learned, the moment when Ebenezer Scrooge, seeing visions of the past and the present and the future, resolves not simply to observe and celebrate Christmas, a holiday that he had previously scorned, but to live the message of Christmas, peace, justice, compassion, love, as taught by the Savior, and that he would live it every day of the year. So maybe at this point you're looking at your calendar and you're saying, well, the first day of fall was just on Tuesday. Is he rushing the season by talking about Christmas? But look carefully at today's calendar. Today is September the 25th. We are exactly 3 months from Christmas. I sincerely have no desire to rush the season. In previous years, it seems to have started earlier and earlier, right? Holiday decorations begin to be put up as soon as the Halloween decorations come down. But I think this year is going to be different. We really have no idea of what the Christmas season will be like, what will be practical or even possible. But I thought about that quote from A Christmas Carol, not only because we're 3 months from Christmas, but I thought of it when I read today's first reading from the book of Ecclesiastes. The passage we heard today is probably the most well-known of the entire book, probably the only part of the entire book of Ecclesiastes that many people have heard. To everything there is a season, a time for war and planting and harvesting and peace. There are those of us of a certain age who remember that these words were actually set to music, and they became a big hit in 1965 by a group that was called The Byrds. If you have no idea of what I'm talking about, Wikipedia and YouTube are your friends. Look it up. And yes, this indeed is a picture of Charles Dickens with one of his dogs. Charles Dickens had a very complicated personal life, and I had this picture of him with his dog, and I figured, well, it's a moment in which he looks peaceful and happy and content with his puppy. The book of Ecclesiastes, let's get back to that, is an interesting book in the Old Testament because the author is dark, pessimistic in his outlook. He's a lot like Scrooge at the beginning of the Christmas Carol story. The unknown author of the book of Ecclesiastes believes that the world is filled with peril. There's darkness and conflict around every corner. And yet the reason that it's in the Bible is because the author believes that there is grace in every season, in every moment, a grace in the past, the present, and the future that can continue to guide and strengthen and help people follow the way. You know, that's what the birth of Jesus is all about, isn't it? Jesus is born poor, unwelcomed, in the midst of mayhem and peril and darkness, and he throughout his life will reveal that the grace of God is found in all of those places, in every past, in every present, and in every future. In many ways, Scrooge's story is like a parable, isn't it? An unlikely and unlikable character reveals a timeless truth, that Christmas has nothing to do with trees and presents and decorations and parties, as beautiful and as wonderful as those things are. Christmas is about good news, that God has shared our human life with all its joys and all its horror, and has helped us to know that the good news is to be believed, that God is with us in every hour of every day of every month throughout the year, that the good news is believed and held on to in our heart in the cold of February, in the heat of July, and on a day at the end of September, the 25th. In today's gospel, we hear Jesus ask the question, "Who do you say that I am?" And that's the question that's put to us every single day of the year. How you understand Jesus, who you say he is, says everything about how you understand who you are and how you are to live. We believe that Jesus is more than a sweet baby laying in the hay with those rascally sheep running around him. Jesus is the Savior who shares human life. He is the one who gives us the gifts of mercy and love and forgiveness, not wrapped up just one day of the year, but often given to us when we least expect, in moments we didn't see coming throughout the year. And saying that is who Jesus is, how we understand him, how we keep him in our heart each day, that's how we become the people we are called to live those gifts of mercy and love and forgiveness with others. So we look back at the past 6 months. We see a lot of struggle, a lot of heartache, a lot of difficulties and challenges and fears. But we've also seen blessings and goodness and kindness. We all look forward to the future, well beyond Christmas and into the next year, a better future where people are healthier and united and stronger and with one another. But today we perhaps should just focus on the present, this day, this hour, this very minute. And for each of us to ask the question, what kind of person do you want to be? Do you hope to be? Do you need to be? Not in the past, not in the future, today. Looking at this picture, I'm reminded of that quote. I'm not going to say it exactly the right way, but where the person prays, "I want to become the person my dog thinks I am." The message of Christmas is for every day, even for September 25th. It's a message that Jesus has for us, especially in these troubled times, that his grace is here in every season. And so we can confidently say, with him and with each other, that I want to be the person the Lord already knows I can be.